All right. Greetings. In this class, we are going to treat web authoring. So I believe you must have done it before, but let me quickly refresh your memory on it. First of all, what is website? The content of the course is all about for us to check on how do we get what is a website, then how do we build our own website. So that's it. So first of all, what is a website? A website is a collection. It's a collection of individual but related web pages that are often stored together and hosted by a web server. So a web server is where we place our content so that it will be accessible. It will be accessible by everyone. So just like everything in life, or every object in life is made up of things. So also the content of the website, a website or a web page can be classified under layers. So the first layer is the content layer, then the presentation layer, and the behavioral layer. So now, each of these things now, uh, the layers of a web page, let's take an analogy, just like a burger. When you get a burger, the basic content of a burger is the flour. This flour now, this place, the flour, which is this flour, this now, let me change the color of this. This is a flour, this is a flour. So this is what makes up every burger. Should look at this like this. Then, depending on the restaurant, the way they will present theirs could make you buy it. So the content inside this place could make you buy it. So it could differ from the condiment in this one could differ from restaurant to restaurant and also from the price range of what you want to another. So that's just the thing. That is it. So then the way we present it, some people could use this, while others could choose to use a tree, depending on the restaurant. So this is the summary of it. So the content of what I'm saying is that just like we have layers in this, so the basic content of every website should be a HTML. That's the basic content. Just like every blogger should have this. Why the presentation, which is the beauty part of it, that will talk of the color and the rest, is this presentation layer, which could differ from individual to individual. So then we have the behavioral layers, which is also, this is the dynamic part of the website. You get it? So that is it. So now, just like everything has its own raw materials that makes it up. So what the raw materials of making of producing a web page or a website is simply what? Text. But this test is not just like your normal test where you just write anything you like, just like in English, make sentences. So this test obeys rules, which is what we are simply going to learn in the course, in this course. So this course content, the subject content of this is mainly based on these two. So at A level, you advance to this. So let's just go ahead. So now the question now is, this text now, where do we write them? The text, which is the raw materials for a what? For a web page, to create for creating a web page. Where do we write it? We make use of what we call text editor, a text editor. So this text editor aids us to produce websites using our codes our programs. Do you get it? So, which is example is what? VS Code. We have Notepad++, we have Sublime Text, we have a lot of them. So for the body, for the content of the course, we are going to use what? VS Code. So that is it. So the next thing we are going to check now is we've understood that that the raw material for producing a website is text. So let's go ahead and now and check what and what clear out. So the question now is, what and what? How will the computer differentiate the fact that we type something? For example, now, all these things are written now. I can produce a web equivalent of it. So, but the question now is, how will the computer know that? How will your computing devices understand the fact that what I just typed now is not meant for Microsoft Word? Neither is it meant for PowerPoint, or neither is it meant for any other application, but rather it's a web page. So that leads us what to call what? File extension. So file extension, you are identifying the type of file you have written. So for HTML content, we use what? .html. That means any name at all we choose to save our work with, it must end with what? .html. So ideally, in the industry, the first page of any website is normally saved with index.html. So that's what you save it at. So that once you open that folder, the first thing your website will observe that this is the landing page or the home page of a website. So that is it. Now, in turn, if we choose to write the presentation part of the code in another file, we choose an extension. If you write the presentation part, which is the CSS, and end it with HTML, the computing device will interpret it as HTML device, and you will definitely have errors because of the wrong syntax. So you write it, so you can save it with anything. Let me say I can save it with body.css, or you write presentation.css. So everything you are doing must be you must use the write extension. Likewise, if you want to do this, the extension for JavaScript is simply .js. So that is it. Then, just like in every language in this world, it has rules and syntax that guides it, which when you understand those rules and understand the content of those languages, you could speak the language to a reasonable extent. So at the course of this now, what are the building blocks of an HTML file? So the content of an HTML, it's simply a tag. So how do we create a tag? This is the sign. Over 80% of the tags we are going to use in this course, we are going to use what we call closed tags. We have open-ended tags and closed tags. So now, whenever you want to open a tag now, you simply use this sign. So for example, you use greater than sign and write the tag, the name of the tag, and close the greater than tag. So you opened it. Then for you to still close it, you use this greater than slash greater than less than that slash greater than. So that's it. So let's quickly. So examples of a tag is P. This P, if you want to create a paragraph, you are writing, of course, when you are writing, if you choose to create a paragraph, you use this. These are headings, and these are what? Um, these are a list. So let's create our first web page now. Let's create our first web page. So ideally, when you want to open any application, you simply go straight to the application. So I will go to my VS Code. I can send of course, you must have downloaded VS Code now. So now the thing is, let's create a new file. When you open your VS Code, you create a new file. So let's create it. I'll write it. For example, let me write it index.html. I will create a new file. Of course, I'll be asked to save it. I choose to save it here. I choose to save it here. So I don't have any problem. You get it? I can just write .html, and that's all. I'll get it saved, create a new file, or I simply open it in any other place I choose. So let me just open it here. So fine. Hope I share this. Okay, very good. So now, so we go ahead now. Let's go. So now, the basic content or structure for every web page is taught. First of all, you start your words, HTML. So I've opened the tag and close it. So I've opened and closed what? This tag called HTML. This was the ideal thing. This is the ideal thing. Then the next thing I must do is what? To create a body, create a head, right? The head is it. Now, the next thing I will do is to create a body. I'll create a body. Sorry, a body. So this is it now. I've created my body. So now, this is the basic structure of any website. So anything we choose for us for it to be visible in our web page is in between this place. Do you get it? So now, then also we could choose title. So I will now write title my first web pages. So for this method, I will see treat on it later. So this is the basic structure. So everything, no matter what you write in between these two things now, it will not be visible in our web page. It can only be visible. This is my first page now. Can only be visible in the title of a web page. So where is the title of the web page? Let's take an illustration. If I open any web page now, okay, now, for example, this is a web page, for instance. Can you see? When you go up here, you can see where they write Instagram. So this Instagram is the title of the web page, of this particular web page. If I open up this now, the title of this is email. So guess the title of this. So this is simply what I mean by what? This is simply what I mean by what? The title of a web page. Every other thing you see in between here is simply what? Every other thing you see in between there is simply the body of the web page. So everything wants to be visible to this web page now. Everything wants to be visible in this web page is we are going to write it here. So now let me show you a simple trick on how to get all these things done. So if I using VS Code, just type exclamation mark and press enter to automatically create everything for you. You just edit the title. Now write my first web page. Now let's create our first thing we want it to display in our web page. So okay, I've written hello world. That's the heading is hello world. The other one, the paragraph I'm writing is this is my first web page. So let me save this now. If I save this, let's test our page. Let's test it. Remember when we saved this file in? Let's go and look for it there. Let's go over there and look for it. If you go over where I saved it, so now if we check this now, this is where I saved it. Automatically, since I saved this with HTML, my browser have automatically seen this as what? It has seen it as a web page. So it saves it in format of my default browser, which is what? Chrome, Google Chrome. So this is it. So once I double click on this now, it will automatically open that web page. So let me share back the screen. It automatically open the web page. So this is it. This is it. Hello. Have you seen it now? Hello world, my first web page. So if we go over now to edit anything over there, we'll finally done what? Created. If I go to H2 now, if I create another paragraph, for instance, don't mind the suggestion. Don't mind the suggestion. Okay, my name is, I will still tell you how to get the suggestions. My name is, so now once you refresh that page, once you go over there to refresh the page, you see nothing has changed now. Once you refresh it, just press F5 or you refresh it. So this is it. So we've created our first web page. So subsequently now, we'll be learning the tags, other tags that we could use to create our web page and the syntax of how to use it. And that is all. I hope this video is not long. Thank you.